You see, with the body, with everything. You see, it started happening and all. But now going back to this book here, Robert A. Johnson, Ecstasy. He has one called Ecstasy. He has one called Weed is very good. Inner Works. He has one called Inner Works. Transformation. Transformation. This one called Weed is talking about romantic love. Now, you done heard I had a lot of damn takes on the love thing, but what I was actually talking about was, until I found evidence that this love thing had another meaning than what it was, because the Christians had gone, we gotta love everybody and all that old shit. So I was rebelling against that bull when I was talking against love in this particular thing. But I also said that the love in the ancient world was talking about a form of maya, a form of truth. Now in here, the romantic love, because we know now that we found thousands of romantic poems coming out of Kemetic. You see, even in Miriam Litchum's book, they got some of those things. Did you have some of those, Miriam?
Yeah, upstairs.
Yeah, upstairs, yeah. What's that? Egyptian literature. You see, they got some of those particular, they got some of those things in Miriam Litchum's book. So, the romance in this particular aspect here is an Egyptian archetypal level to take you from one level to another level. Now, this is what I'm trying to say here. Because I had to do this too. You know, we talk about the sisters, all them fuckers in them old damn love stories. And I talk about this on the radio, you know. Oh, them old sisters in all the damn love stories and stuff. You know what I'm saying? Well, hell, that's better than some goddamn football.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? No, they ain't in the love, they ain't in the damn love story and stuff like that. It's highly unlikely. Most people might fall in love with something and all, but it ain't highly unlikely that you're going to ever play football again or ever will, or whatever type of thing. The point I'm trying to make is this here. So we be talking about some doggone love stories and all. And then I said, but then again, wait, hold on now. There's got to be something going on, because why them motherfuckers is outliving us as males? And they've always talked about this and stuff, because we hold things back. Then I say, no, you're tapping into these love stories based on the archetype. You don't mean the damn movies and stuff like that, no. You know what I mean? You can get into any damn thing. You know what I'm saying? You want to see some good movies, watch a damn cowboy movie. Because the storyline be the damn bomb. You know what I'm saying? The storyline be the bomb. I'm just saying you can get into any damn thing. There's some art form to anything. And in Hollywood, you see what I'm saying? That is the thing that rule the world. Now look, they did this thing about Hollywood ghosts. They say that the ghosts, when the movie stars die, their egos are so powerful until they can never identify with anything but that ego and what they were. Until this day, each Hollywood movie star that dies, they still live in Hollywood. They say they got clubs where they go in, and they be at night when after the people go home, the movie stars congregate, and they say they hear Earl Flynn, Clark Gable.
Like The Shining.
Huh?
Like The Shining. Like
The Shining. Yeah, that's a good movie. But they hear them and they still living in Hollywood because they can't go to the other side because their egos are so huge.
On the etheric world.
The etheric world.
And
it's the Hollywood ghost.
Move on to the next level.
And we know we have you got a lot of males with real strong. And it's interesting here because I was talking to Carlet's son, and when Carlet died, now it's interesting. The son was in contact with me a couple of days. He said he done came to me and said, you're going to have to help me get to the other side. This is what his son was telling me. Because the son is into metaphysics. The son went to damn Chicago, and Farrakhan had him up and they said, me and your father, we had this little thing the last couple of years. He said, but you're going to take this shit with some stuff you learning to another level. The son is into alchemy and metaphysics. He comes to a lot of my, this is the one that looked just like him. He comes to a lot of my lectures. So he called me up and said, first of all, he saw his father. He said, we need to meet. He saw his father 2 weeks prior to him dying. What happened was this son was not talking to Carlet. Something between Carlet and him and his mother. He wasn't speaking to Carlet. So I got together and I told him, look, man, you need to go ahead and speak to your father. He said, I'm gonna do it in my own time. So then Carlet saw me in August will say, I want to thank you, man, because you got my son to come and me and my son is talking now. So when he called his son up, when the son called him up in the 1st of January and told him, he said, I need to meet with you. The son could say, because you don't have long. This is what the son was telling me on the damn phone. And so he said, you don't have long. He said they had a good union and stuff. And he said, but this was before he finally left, when they pulled the doggone, when they pulled the life support, the son called me and said, I done got a visit from him. He's saying, hey man, I ain't really into the whole spirit thing. You're going to have to help me get to the other side. I'm telling you what the son told me the same day. You see, so Carter said, you're going to have to help me get to the other side. And this is what his son was telling me. You see what I'm saying? So I'm not making this damn shit up at all. You see what I'm saying? So this whole discourse, but the key I'm trying to make here is a very strong personality has a problem letting go. So they got these Hollywood people with this Hollywood ghost thing. You see what I'm saying? They can barely let go. Now, this book, because the sister was at the conference, Kimberly, she read this particular one, and she said it's an excellent one. But what he does is he cuts straight to the doggone point. Now, the key what I'm trying to say is this. They talk about this whole part about is called understanding the psychology of romantic love. He, we, she, inner work. Yeah, these are separate books. He, we, she, inner works, transformation is one. Transformation is one, and there's one called owning your own shadow. When I talk about the shadow, and I said the shadow is melanin. But in this particular, it's understanding the dark side of the psyche. But in here, in his book on the shadow, he said that the shadow is also a form of love. There you go, that melanin thing again. But his books is always short. And he gets straight to the doggone point. Robert A. Johnson. This one is called Ecstasy, dealing with Dionysus. Excellent little book. But we got to get out of all that other shit, because it's a damn white man. But niggas ain't writing nothing. We doing baby boy. So let's cut this foolishness. You can turn this stuff around. We're not talking to the people on the street. We're talking to you that's done been in this shit before. So you know how to read stuff and turn around. You know when the cracker is being the cracker and when he's taking stuff, what's called? What's that?
I just want to say this. I asked the guy, Maladon, about. He said that a lot of times spirits don't want to leave the earth, and they will hire, especially women, to cry. He said because there's something about the tears that will suck that soul into the next dimension. He said they'll be caught between and they won't go. He said, but tears have something to do with this, and it sucks you back into that other side.
That's interesting. That's interesting. Now I got a grandmother. Very strong, but she used to teach school, and she was a disciplinarian. She was a disciplinarian and stuff like that. She was everybody. I met people, man, and they said, "Yeah, your grandmama taught me. She used to beat my ass." That's the second thing they would say. They said, "Your grandmama taught me." Yeah, this y'all taught me just to beat my ass. So she was a staunch discipline. That's what she did, man. She ruled by the doggone rod, except to when she met 3 little grandchildren, 3 little boys, and boy, we gave her ass hell. Because she was in love and shit. You know what I'm saying? And then when my mama to beat us and stuff. So we gave her ass hell. I said, damn, you never think it would be 3 grandsons take the chief disciplinarian. Meanest woman God put breath in. I told you, I sent in my tapes and shit, we were up in there damn Thanksgiving and all. Where the fucking turkey at? Oh, go under the bed and get the turkey. She done hid the turkey under the damn bed so we wouldn't eat shit. Mean as hell. And all except she got 3 grandchildren and then 3 boys. A year apart, and boy, we gave her ass hell. But she still would whip our ass. You know what I'm saying? Bust a bag of beans on my brother's head. You better pick up every damn one of them, too. But her spirit was so powerful until we thought she died in 90. And then 2 days ago, my brother was up and he heard in his house, he heard the toilet flush. So he thought his wife or his little boy was getting up. Because he got a little 6th sense little boy to see ghosts and stuff. and all. So he thought the little boy was up, so he went around there and all, and the wife and the child was in there sleeping. So he said, damn, he called and said, somebody just flushed my toilet. I said, damn, I wonder who that was. And he was like, damn, the only time I remember that, because when she first died in 1990, she had such a strong, she went to my mama now. My mama ain't scared of her. See, my mama is this kind of person here. If you about to die and she come in the damn hospital, you better say, you better get that motherfucker up out of here. Because she gonna look in your face and get that old cheap grin and then you gonna die. That's what she do. She come there and see motherfucker to the other side. So if Glen Sirius and Hemmitt come up in there, you need to get her up out of there. She see that old cheap smile. Like that and shit. Your ass is gone. She saw her mama die like that and her daddy dies, one of her cousin and all this kind of thing. So she died and then so after the funeral about 3 days later, she dragged her foot in the one. And my mama heard her drag her mama and said, you gotta get the hell on up out of here. Now look, ain't scared of her before, but now, she done lost the physical body. You gotta get the hell on out of here. So she went up, and so when my mama let her go, she went up to my brother, my youngest brother, just a year younger than me. He went up to Boston. He was staying in Boston at the time. So he went up there and was staying there. And she was flushing the goddamn toilet and cutting on the TV and all kind of stuff. And cutting on this, flushing the toilet and cutting on the TV and doing all this stuff. And my brother was like, oh, that's grandmama, because mama just called and said she was down there, let her alone. But the wife was like, no, fuck that shit. So about a month, the wife is for some root people down in a place called Nichols, South Carolina. And the wife at that time, the ex-wife, her whole family was big in roots. So she called and said, hey, this motherfucking Miss Irene Shaw is up in here fucking with all my stuff. So he said, so he came home one day, and she was gone. He said, damn, you done did something and got grandmama out of here. And so then, he thought she was gone for good. But apparently, so then she flushed the toilet, and this was 10 years ago. Because this was 91 when she was all up in Boston and stuff. So she flushed the toilet, and I called Kevin up, I said, damn. Who is that in my brother's house? Because I knew they had another brother man that died up in there. And he was like, she was like, Irene said it's her, it's Irene, your grandmama. I said, damn, I thought she went to the other side after the girl got out of here. Said, no, she just went back down the mother's where your mother was. She just was quiet. She just learned how to be quiet. So she didn't stand up to that for 10 damn years. So she said she just learned how to be quiet and then drag her feet no more. You know how it goes is. You learn as you go on. In the movie Beetlejuice, get the movie Beetlejuice. They say you gotta read the fucking manual. Remember in the movie Beetlejuice when they try to find out what happened after they died? And they're saying, paragraph so you gotta read the manual. So that's a whole nother world. You see what I'm saying? So she must have waited for somebody to tap and say, no, you gotta quit dragging your damn feet. Be quiet. Be quiet. So she was chilling at the crib down in South Carolina. So come to find out her behind is still around. So she gonna go up and she gonna flush the doggone toilet. The other day, this was Thursday. And Mike was like, I told him, I said, well, Kimberly said that was Irene. He said, the only person I know that flushed the toilet like that was her when she was up in Boston. You see, when she was up in Boston. So I said, so what? Is he staying with Mike now in Atlanta? She said, no. She said she visits her daughter in D.C. She stays in Maryland, South Carolina. She visits the daughter in D.C. She visits your other brother. I said, does she come to my house? I said, no, she can't come up in your house. And I said, why? I said, because the spirit realm that you got in your house is on such a higher plane. So there's different dimensions in the spirit realm. So I done elevated myself and my house to such a higher plane until she can't go up in the house. So she visited everybody but you. Now I got a little jealous and shit. But anyway, but I'm trying to say, going back to that whole Hollywood ghost thing, those spirits are so trapped, but that ought to let you know. If this man has produced a Hollywood that can make a deity, it might be a low-level deity that's going to disappear, but it's still, they call it a movie star. And you got more people worship that than do anything. E.T. tonight, entertainment tonight, that's a ritual that come on every night. I don't know, in Atlanta, and it come on at 7:30. Does it come on at 7:30 down here? Yeah. And then, now you got to listen to this thing. That's a ritual that go on every days, Monday through Friday. And on Saturday, they have whatever happened to these old drug addict motherfuckers. It's the same entertainment tonight, but all them niggas, whatever happened to? Rerun that lost 4,000 pounds and stuff. But that's a ritual that go on. Because that is their gods. When they're talking about the false idols, they were talking about movie stars. So what we're saying is this Hollywood is so powerful. You see, this is the thing that traps the whole mind of everything, is this particular Hollywood. And so if they can have these ghosts that's elevated to a deity stature, can you imagine what this whole thing is doing to the whole psyche thing? And it was interesting because when I went to L.A. and spoke out in L.A., a lot of the brothers that's now into the metaphysics is now really breaking down what's going on in L.A. Before, it's all this type thing, but they was into the black consciousness, but all of a sudden now they done got into the metaphysics, and these brothers is recognizing shit on a major level based on ritual-wise. You see?
The most difficult time that I have is when I leave the television on, one of those movies come on, I still find myself, I'm quite an old man, and I still find myself captured by a movie, and I know I should be studying and meditating and reading, and I'm still struggling with that at my age, the power of the film. Because when I was even younger, I used to keep my head stuck under the radio. We didn't have television. And at the time, I used to wonder when that they would have movies, pictures that I could sit in front and see rather than have to listen to the radio. Buck Rogers and all and all that stuff used to come on the radio. And when movies came out in the mid-30s, the early 40s, every time the man opened the door, I was there. And so I was conditioned during those formative years with movies. And I'm still struggling with that at this old age.
But then it goes back to that archetypal realm.
Right, that's right.
And so it will, as far as the capturing of us, it makes you into a creature of that.
Right.
And see, so it's real powerful. And so these brothers out there now, and they're really getting into some things based on the ritual, and everything down there is just one major ritual after another. What's that?
I want to take a break in about 15 minutes. So, maybe you might want to take a few questions before the break, because I know everybody.
Let's go into that now, because we can. Let's go into that. But let me get this one thing off. Let me get this one thing about some fresh on my mind. Then we're going to go into question and answer. So now, I'm always pushing the envelope to try to go take my mind to another place. And sometimes it's taking the place where it's not popular. So I said, no, what I'm going to do is I'm going to go and I'm going to rent every love story. Well, we ain't got nothing but Love Jones, so we can hang that shit up. And that is the reason why they don't put black love on the screen together. Because they're trying to keep you away from that. So I said, no, I'm going to get past and stuff, I'm going to go to the whole romantic thing. And I'm going to rent every love story or whatever. And I'm going to force myself to get into it like the sister. You see what I'm saying? But I didn't really have to, because once my heart chakra opened up and stuff like that, I gravitate towards that kind of shit. Get that Bram Stoker's Dracula. Real good love story up in there. Especially the damn bed scene. I said, them motherfuckers is acting their ass off up in there. She was like, take me. He said, oh, I can't bite you. I love you too much. That shit was hell. Now, but I start tapping into that and that's what they're talking about in here. To take the imagination realm. That's when you get the book Alone with the Alone. Or there's that book I introduced to come up with Theosophia. That's the one you want. Arthur versus Lewis. This is the stuff that the Pope is behind. Theosophia. When you get that particular book, it's going to break down the Hemmitt Corbin's book to the least common denominator. But one of the keys is this. And this is what the stuff that the Pope and them deal with. So you'll see Jesus with that heart. You ever see Jesus holding the heart?
Right.
The goddamn heart is Jesus. That's the mystery. That's the mystery to Jesus is love. The heart is Jesus. There is no man. It's the heart chakra. That's why you see the Pope holding it down. The Pope and them, they worship this thing here. And they'll have a little heart. Or you get the rose of crucius, the rose and the cross.
Right.
You see what I'm saying? The rose and the cross. But you'll see Jesus with the heart. There is no white string-headed man or no black man per thing other than the black motherfucker you looking at. You understand what I'm saying? So the heart is Jesus or Horus or Osiris. This is the mystery behind it. What's that?
I found out some interesting, I'm a scientist sort of, and I found out some interesting things about the heart. And one is that when an embryo is set, the first thing that develops in that embryo is the heart cell. The first thing. And if that heart cell does not develop, the whole thing aborts itself.
Ain't that something? That's why is it that Cupid is a little baby? All this stuff is greater mysteries. That's interesting. The heart cell. You see, that's interesting because that's what you get into the true mysteries of what this thing is. And that's why the white boy have a defect. That's why they came out in 1998 and said white males have a defective heart chakra. And white females, same essence, because you can't get the prime, because this heart is coming from the primal worlds. You see what I'm saying? So what they call it love, my mama talked about it in the conference, where I said, we go on how we feel. White people go on how they feel about you. There's a difference. You see what I'm saying? No. We feel based on, we go on, excuse me, break this. We go based on how we feel about a person. White people go on how you make them feel. There's a difference. You can make them feel a certain way. And they can go, I like you. You ain't like the rest of your people. Michael Jordan can produce a wonderful display of talent to make them feel a certain way towards him. But if Michael Jordan never played basketball, he could have the same body walking down the damn street. They would hate it. We go on how we feel about people. That's why we go, I feel you. You see what I'm saying? And that's the unconditional thing. Just like the child never has to produce nothing. It can be a big old waterhead baby. But you will love it anyway because it just is. It didn't have to produce nothing. You could be a mass murderer, like they said. Damn, Jack the Ripper wife, mama said, what? Them bitches had it coming. She said, whatever. No. Jack the Ripper mama said, no, them bitches had it coming. That's the But we go based on how we feel about somebody. That's why I say right now, this is what Mama said, if you ain't got no patience for your people in this thing, get out of this particular black thing. A lot of people go by how they feel. I'm like, you can't get unpopular with them now, because they'll feel your ass the wrong way. If you ever get them so they turn against you and they don't feel your ass, you see what I'm saying? Then you through. Okay, how fancy you are, you get them so they go by how they feel, and if your disposition ain't right where they ain't feeling you through dealing. You see what I'm saying? Because it's based on the whole field thing. So now going back to this particular heart chakra thing, to produce this particular element, Jesus, what that mystery they talking about is not that. It is number one, it is the heart. That's what it is. It's the heart chakra. That's why you see him with the heart. That's the mystery behind this particular sign. Now, close out this one thing is, so I tapped into this whole romantic archetype thing because I'm coming to find out it comes from Kemetic. And what it is the imagination, the imaginary realm. You see, it is the imaginary realm and stuff. Listen, the sister, she all stuck in the fantasy and all this kind of thing. But it's an archetypal imaginary realm. And that itself is sending messages to the soul. Because in so many words, you are trying to cultivate this. You might think it's that or that person, but it is this. So that's why I said get into, so what's called this movie, Deja Vu. Anybody see this? The Deja Vu. This baddest shit on the planet. The white people, but we don't make nothing like that. So we don't want to get in. I don't want to see that white people stuff. Will you wait on a nigga to get you some stuff like that? You know what I'm saying? You know, we see what with us, what they did in the night, said, look, we're going to take some old Sanford and Son sitcom shit. That's my mama. Call it soul train, soul food. And give them niggas that shit there, and they gonna say, oh man, that's a positive, nice movie. They didn't know that was an old fucking TV show. That's my mama. Or whatever. That ain't no real stuff that damn reach you. You go to a whole nother level. We ain't into no sophisticated stuff. Get the movie Deja Vu. You be like, oh, that's some white people stuff. Just listen at the beginning of the movie what the woman is saying, and at the end of the damn movie. And you gotta watch it to the very end. When you get to the very end, you be like, damn. And I done met the damn hard-nosed niggas that saw this thing. We done tested it out on real staunch, hard-nosed Negroes. They be like, damn, that shit there is bad. Deja Vu, 1998. I know one of the main popular actors is Vanessa Redgrave. Deja Vu, 1998. Badass movie. Starts in Israel, goes to France, goes to Dover, wherever the fuck Dover is, and then it goes on into England, on into heart of England, and then it goes to Los Angeles. You got to get this movie, but you got to follow the doggone movie. It is the bad metaphysical. Another good movie, Somewhere in Time, Christopher Reeve. But saw that shit? Yeah. That was a bad movie. I don't give a damn what. Watch Somewhere in Time, Christopher Reeve. You gotta have it. Gotta have it. Another movie called. Did you ever get the movie? It's called what's the name? Still Breathing. Did you ever get that one? With Joanna Goin and Brandon Fraser, the guy that played in The Mummy. These was good love stories. Bram Stoker's Dracula. Deja Vu with Vanessa Redgrave. Still Breathing with Joanna Goin and Brandon Fraser. Somewhere in Time, Christopher Reeve. Well, that's another good one and stuff. But you tap into these things, you go to another level. But what it does is this here, see, what it's going to do to the male is, you got the ego, and you're going to force yourself to follow this thing that you thinking is ridiculous. Now in the movie Deja Vu, they're going to be an older couple up in there. They're going to be, they like in their damn 50s or late 40s or 50s. And all of a sudden, they're in the bed, and all of a sudden they start thinking about the candy that they used to eat when they was a child. Remember that? She said, you remember them damn licorice and shit like that? No. He was like, yeah, you remember them little things and so on and so. So what they was doing was they was all sophisticated, you know, got the family, got everything, and then they just broke back down to that childhood thing. Back to the childhood. They let all that bullshit go of what the society said you're supposed to be. You see what I'm saying? And broke back down to that childhood. It's a lot of stuff, but that deja vu is stuff. But what I'm trying to say is what you're producing in this is a romantic archetype. There's a romantic archetype that is going on that you got to get into. You know, because what that does, it neutralizes that particular ego. But the one they say where you lose yourself in this love. You lose yourself, you got to get love as a fire. Llewellyn Vaughan Lee, because what it's going to deal with, it's going to deal, because now in there you got to understand that Sufi vernacular where they talk about the love of God. But just remember when you get the movie, when they talk about the love of God is your own soul, not no motherfucker up here. It's your own soul. So when you get the movie, when you get the book, Love is a Fire, Llewellyn Vaughan Lee, got to get it. Because it's going to deal with these mysteries of the Sufi way of this particular love. But there's a lot of Sufi stuff out there, but a lot of it is a lot of poetic stuff on love. This one hits home. That one in Theosophia, Henry Corbin. Give me, and get any of these particular books here by Robert Johnson, especially the one this one on ecstasy with Dionysus, because this is very key. Because Dionysus is letting you forget your regular pattern. And that's exactly what I was trying to do at the conference and at the last year. Came in, I was telling all them damn jokes. And I was doing shit on another level. I was acting out the Dionysus role. You see, nigga losing his damn mind. First of all, I didn't have nothing to do with it. This is some shit that happened when the damn magical child started opening up and stuff. But what it is breaking out of the unorthodox ways. This is quintessential to what we're dealing with right now. Is you got to shed these orthodox ways. You got to become unorthodox, unconventional, clandestine, freaky. Not in this other sense, but in a sense that somebody gonna call you something by casting judgment on you based on you ain't acting right.
That's right.
You see what I'm saying? You got to let go. Give me some question and answers.
Tell you what, why don't we just take a break, man?
Okay, now, we'll do that. Like I said, I got these things here with it. Like I said, it's got the King Alpha plan in it. It has some new stuff on the Moors. This is it's Arkansas catalog. It's got a whole section on metaphysical books. Any kind of metaphysical book in the world that you want to get this in print, you can get it through here. And any of the tapes. But these articles up in here. Plus, you also it's this particular part up in here with the harvest, which is the one where they're killing these and all. Hell, that's work the damn book itself and all. So if y'all interested in stuff and all, call Delbert in and she can get you with this. I think they're going for 15, and it has different things on melanin and different all different types of things, and it has the outlet on any metaphysical book and any of the tapes or anything that you want to get in that's in print. You can deal with it in this type of thing here, as well as in the core categories on all forms of knowledge and stuff. So plus we also, for the people that's interested, we brought tapes also too from the Arkansas. So we're gonna go to a break. If anybody interested in that, we'll come back and resume and we'll get funky again.
Hold up before you go. We got some food too. We got some vegetarian spaghetti, some 3-bean salad and a fruit salad, and some water. You can get it all together. It's like $8.
I know.
You know, so that's in the kitchen. It's already ready. You know, no waiting on that. You know. And the break would be like say a half hour. You know, but I ain't gonna be cracking no whip to get you back.
Also, because I got to go to
Physical ministry.
Who?
Saladin. Have you heard of Saladin?
Saladin, I heard of Saladin.
Institute. He was on the panel with you.
Yeah, you don't know what it has. Yeah.
He spoke Sunday at the.
Yeah, I know. Had all the sisters around. Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
Cosmic consciousness.
Yeah. And you saying he's what?
No, I was just saying that I shouldn't say this. So, but I'm just saying that I've avowed personally myself to an extent that I'm no longer intellectually dependent on.
Oh yeah. But
we evolved tonight.
Yeah. This whole thing, I want to get this. I want to say this about the Horus principle. Yes, they had several people. There's the discrepancy whether they're historical or not and stuff, you know. But I'm saying that based on the metaphysical laws, Buddha could never have done anything but been a great teacher if you want to believe that there is a historical Buddha, because the Christ principle of Christos, the Christ principle of Christos has never been on the planet. It couldn't have. Because not only did it couldn't have, which is very interesting, because once that thing happened, the gods up above cannot even live anymore. They tell you that Shiva is supposed to kill all the gods in heaven, supposed to burn them up. Third eye open, supposed to burn all the gods in the heaven. That's the seraphonic realm, and they're supposed to die. So we're talking about if we still got a universe, which is a physical matrix, and the universal matrix. Do you know what the Gnostics call the matrix? They call it the planes. Your astral planes is matrix. They may not be physical. You might have different levels of the astral plane.
The astral plane is a matrix?
Yeah, the astral plane is a matrix.
It's a trap.
It's a trap. Now you can ascend. This is what I'm trying to. Let me explain to you why I say that.
Astral plane.
In Gnosticism, it talks about the matrix of illusion is plane. Although there is the physical plane, which is the third dimension, and you can go to the fourth, fifth, and sixth dimension, they are still forms of the universal matrix. The universal matrix didn't start with the physical earth. It started from one spectrum of the universe, and as well as the physical earth. So the whole universe, universe A,
is the etheric plane.
All that's the matrix.
You mean to tell me my consciousness can evolve?
It can evolve high on those things, but it can only evolve in the matrix prism.
Right.
It's still, although it can be off of the physical realm, it has to be a matrix, because the ultimate reality of the Shiva principle and of the Christos principle of harvest is to destroy the known universe. Shiva is supposed to bring up the universe with his third eye. Even the Buddhists, beyond Buddha, this is what the Buddhists say, because all of them have their apocalyptic edition, whether they borrow it or whatever. Even the Buddhists said, in the end, in the long run and in the end, the gods are to be burnt up in the universe. Now, we know that Buddhism is an extension of Hinduism. And you can have different depredated forms of Hinduism, but if you study further enough, just like Kemetic, you can go back to the Vedic system, which is the most pure part. And Shiva burns up the universe with his third eye. You also have the return of the Shakti power, which is Kundalini power. So the mere fact that we got a person that comes in, he has a spiritual teaching, but fails to transform or redeem the universe, he is not the Christ. There's a difference between a Christ figure and the actual Christ. We have had probably Christ figure. Hell, Imhotep was worshipped as a Christ figure.
Right.
He later on took his part in the canon of gods in Kemetic. You see, in the canon of God, it's Sigmund Morant's book. He's right up in that book, in that particular book. He's in that book as one of the gods of the pantheon. You see, Egyptian religion by Sigmund Morant. Imhotep is one of that. He's worshipped as Asclepius in Greece. You see what I'm saying? Asclepius in Greece. The Voodoo have a system of ancestral worship. When they have a deity, that deity can take his place along with the lowest. You see that even in the book, the Secrets of Voodoo. They talk about how they got this Don Petro, Dean Jean Paul. These is Creole niggas. You see? They later on became a part of the canon, of deities.
The Orishas.
Yeah. You see, yeah, the Orishas, the lowest. So my point is you can evolve to the seraphonic realm. And they have had humans to evolve to the seraphonic realm. But the Christ principle is what is called a chthonic
What's the
principle.
nature of this seraphonic realm? What is the nature?
The nature of the seraphonic realm is this, and this is very key, because I got some stuff here. The nature of, this is some important stuff. The nature of the seraphonic realm is to protect the universe and life on the planet Earth. They will bless you, and you can take your part among them, but you can never become the true God in your own right in this particular aspect. They help you out, the seraphonic realm, and I'll give you the nature of it. The gods that rule the planet, the universe, and the planet Earth. Those rulers. Those are seraphonic beings.
Okay. We on track.
Yeah.
We're on the same vibration. Right?
Those are seraphonic beings. They rule the earth, and they help us in the human realm to get for a better life in the human existence.
Great.
And they help us strive towards the evolutionary ladder of the seraphonic realm, the heaven realm. But we are cherubims. And when we tap into our true nature and become the true God that we are, they become our enemies. Now,
That's just simple dualism, isn't it? That's just simple dualism.
Listen,
It strikes a balance in a sense because they're trying to preserve the physical manifestation.
Right.
both sides want to win. Go get the movie. It's right in there because they write it all this. Get Spawn, the animated series. Get Spawn #3. Then you find out that the damn heaven, they show them in the realm.
From what teaching is this, Bob?
I'm gonna break this shit down.
From what
I'm gonna break it down. I'm gonna break the shit down. Cause see you mess with a motherfucker with some straight up scholarship. And we gonna go and we gonna fine tooth comb every aspect of this in all the cultures.
Yeah.
All right, that's how we do things. We can deal with scholarship now and all. We don't have to just have a belief system. Because I wanted to know. Now, I wanted to know. Now, let's start with Egypt, or Kemetic. Ra comes into being.
It is preview and pre.
Okay, all right, I'm gonna go into that. I'm gonna start halfway, then I'm gonna explain what they overthrew. Ra comes into being.
Zeptepi.
He comes into being. Right in this book, From Fetish to God, Ancient Egypt, the creation of Ra in the back. I'll read it to you. Ra comes into being by doing what? How does Ra come into being? The legend of the creation. By overthrowing Apep, Apit, Tyert, the great mother.
Yeah.
That's right in here in black and white. Page 433. Right here.
Right, Robert.
What's the name of that book?
This is From Fetish to God, Ancient Egypt. Ra comes into being by overthrowing Apep, the great mother.
No, it's Budge. It's not Budge.
This is Budge. Budge.
Yeah,
Yeah, you want this Budge. He comes into being by overthrowing Apep, Ra. Ra is a tyrant being. This is awesome because let's tread some of these particular myths around, and they all say the same thing. So Ra comes into being by throwing an older system, not just the priesthood, but a system in the heaven. Apep is fragmented because we get a certain part about the Apep, but we don't get what the hell is Apep. Well, even in the your girls' book, the Book of Doors, they recognize Apep, Apit, and Tyre as one and the same. It's the same hippopotamus gods, the same Apep, the great dragon, Alpha Draconis.
Different phases of the same God.
Yeah, it's the same aspect. Now, let's go to Babylonia and Samaria. Babylonia, Ra is represented as Marduk. And Marduk overthrows Tiamat. Okay? Tiamat is who? The great mother. In Greece, Zeus not only overthrows the Titans, he overthrows Gaia, who becomes the earth. In India, you got Danae.
What about Athena in Greece?
Well, Athena is just another extension of the Great Mother. There's several different extensions of the Great Mother. We go back to the origin of the piece. In India, you got Danae and Virtra. They are a conversation. It's a combination of both male and female because you got Kingu and Tiamat in Babylonia. Get Babylonian Genesis, Alexander Hagel. Get this particular book here, From Distant Days. From Distant Days, Myths and Tales of Portrait from Ancient Mesopotamia by Benjamin F. Foster. Distant Days. They have one of the most complete overthrowing of Tiamat, which is probably one of the greatest versions of overthrowing of the Great Mother ever recorded. Because we don't get the version in Kemetic didn't survive, or either they're not letting us know about it at the University of Chicago. They got fragments of it in the coffin text. They got fragments of it in the coffin text.
What's that by, Bobby?
This is Benjamin R. Foster. Zeus overthrows, what's that?
I just want to say the chaos,
Yeah,
or you can call that the great mother.
that is, yeah.
That is the warehouse of future worlds.
The future world.
Worlds come out of
The
that.
future world. The
So
future
then
worlds
that's-
come from not from the seraphonic realm. They come from the chaos realm, which is called your chthonic realm, or your cherubonic realm. It's called Amenta, Hades, Tartarus,
So then the lesser,
Eleusis.
but the lesser gods came
The
out
lesser
of the
gods.
cycle.
Now this is
Came
it.
out of the cycle.
Yes. Okay, we'll deal with this. Okay, we're gonna get right to what you're saying here. What you call it is it is. It's the concept of this is no. The concept of this is. Now, you got Zeus overthrows Gaia, the great mother, and the Titans. He overthrows the Titans. You got Indra, the male principal in India, overthrows Danae and Virtra and the Asuras. They become the chthonic realm. The chthonic realm is what you would call the daemonic realm, hell's realm, or the hidden realm, the underworld. Those particular entities will reign over the seraphonic realm. Somebody said, well, why will they reign over the seraphonic realm? Because they were higher than the seraphonic realm. The seraphonic realm came into being. That's the ones that rule now. That's the people who rule heaven. Zeus, Yahweh, Indra in India, Ra in Kemet, Marduk in Samaria. Marduk in Samaria, these are the seraphonic realms. The reason the seraphonic realms rule over the matrix of this particular universe B is because they overthrew their parents. It's just that their parents, when they overthrew them, they became what? Humans. So they take the blood of Tiamat and make humans out of it. And Kingu make humans out of it. They take the blood of Gaia and the Titans. They take the Tiamat, she becomes a part of the earth and a part of humans. And Kingu becomes a part of humans. You get Gaia becomes a part of the earth and a part of, and the Titans become humans. Ra in the coffin text invite
talking about the Nephilims and
the Nephilims, the Titans, the giants.
Yeah.
They call them the Nephilims, the Titans, the giant, the Chthoni, the Titans, the Titans, the Ker in Samaria. They call them the Ker. They call them the Asuras in both India, and you get the Asuras also in a part of Persia. But over and over, whatever system you go to, all systems came out of another system. Kabbalistic myth says that what we call the world of formation, or the world of appearances, is the world that we live in now. Our world was created on several other primal worlds that predated it.
So where's the blueprint realm?
The blueprint realm now, that it used to be the Great Mother, resides in us. That is melanin. I got to take the history of melanin, and that same substance of the history of melanin is the fabric of the leftovers. They call it Damians, something that is left behind. Left behind what? Our world was built on other primal worlds that existed prior to it. So where is the highest in the Hermetic text? of Tahuti, they say that Zeus Cathanis, or they say Zeus, because Zeus Cathanis is the son of Zeus, which means they have a physical body, but in actuality it's Dionysus, which is the form of the Christ. But they say that Zeus controls the world of creation in this particular universe and the earth. But it is not the highest of what there all is. The highest is in the ground, in a circle, and is with us. Now, Alvin Boyd Kuhn broke one of the mysteries of where the underworld or mental hell in Hades was. And he realized, he even said even Massey didn't recognize it, that number one, a mentor or the underworld is the planet Earth.
This is the
underworld. If you're up there at the astro, down here would be the underworld. And the people that dwell in the underworld, the people that dwell in the underworld are the humans. Now, Wendy O'Flaherty, God bless her in the aspect that she translated the Vedic text and came to the conclusion in the book called The Origins of Evil in Hindu Mythology. This book here puts the record straight. And she says, my conclusion is that the shining divas, that's called the Diva Shanic plane. So your solar divas, the solar order, which everybody worships, is such beautiful, and all the avatars and all that. They say that they are some of the worst cutthroat bastards ever existed. And the poor little asuras that you worship and look down on as the demons are always sinned against. She says in here that the asuras, which is the ones that live in the underworld, are pristine deities that are superior to the damn divas. Wendy O'Flaherty's book, Evil in Hindu Mythology. If you can get it, I don't know if it's in print or not. In print. And she says, man is the dupe, which means he's the sucker, because she goes on and she translates the text and she finds out that demons and humans are the goddamn same. We've been worshiping against ourselves. It's amazing. This book here, if you really listen, this book by Conrad E. Maug, M-A-U-G-E. I said Maug or Meg or Maug, M-A-U-G-E. How do you pronounce that? Is that Maug? Conrad E. Maug. The Yoruba world of good and evil. Come to find out that the Yoruba deities overthrew another group of deities, and another group of deities that they overthrew was even older than them, but these other group of deities against man. Now let's get this. The story goes in Christian things. See, even if you get you gotta get, even in Christian mythology, which is some good stuff if you get Hebrew mythology. There's a difference between Hebrew mythology and Hebrew scriptures. The scriptures was made out of mythology. Prior to the Hebrew scriptures, the Torah, they had a whole compilation of mythology that came from Kemetic and Ethiopia and the surrounding areas where they put it together, like Canaan and all those places or whatever. After Akhenaten and his boys got kicked on out of Egypt.
What book is this now?
There's a book called The Legends of Israel by, let me get this guy's name, Angelo S. Rappaport. 3 volumes out of Britain. Angelo S. Rappaport. When I got that shit, I said, man, this Hebrew shit is over with, because in the doggone book, Rappaport. Angelo S. Rappaport. Now, do you know, and the Hebrew priests know this, do you know that the whole fall in heaven with the Archangel Michael is our fucking enemy? He's the one that cast the mugs down. He ain't about shit. But we get funky here. Ogun is our enemy. Ogun.
He's one of our
yeah, you think so? Okay, we gonna get into this shit. We gonna get into this thing here. I know.
What about that book by Woodmont?
Look, you know one to worship in that set? You worship. You take all the female deities, Hemmitt, Oya. I know this motherfucker gonna say, that nigga done lost his mind, so what? So what? My goddamn gas cut off right now. That's the goddamn story. I ain't gotta hide shit. I take cold showers, so I could give less than a damn. You come to my house, you better boil some goddamn hot water, or your ass be doing some. And I got one eye on my stove to boil the hot water, so it's gonna take a while. You ain't gonna do no cold shower. You gonna take about 2 hours just to take a damn bath. So I'm telling you, Ogun is the warrior in the Euro thing that cast the so-called dark gods down. Now let me show you an interesting story. In the Greek thing, which is black, Etruscan, Tyranian, Phoenician, Sumerian, on into Typhonian Egypt. In the Greek story, you had Hera, you had Aphrodite, and you had a couple of other feminine entities. They used to be titans, used to hang out with the titans. What happened was when they went to work for the titans, they kicked the great mother's ass and they kicked the titans in the behind. Hera, which is a form of Oshun, in order for her to survive, they had to become subservients to Zeus and the rest of them male deities. Well, same thing with Oshun and them. Oshun, Oya, Yeminya, Olakun. Once the male deities gained supremacy, they had to take a back seat and become the consort. Same thing with Setman. Setman is the oldest god. They have traced it. Robert Masters traced this thing, said that Gerald Masters said this thing is so old, the Sphinx is after Setman. It's one of the most primordial gods ever. But by the time the male order comes, she has to become the consort of Ra and Ptah. She has to become their wife and stuff. So they had to take a subordinate role. They had to take, so Archangel Michael cast, now this book Rappaport, the story goes a little different. The story goes like this. It's also in the book Ladder of Lights by William G. Gray. The angels, Satan or Lucifer and them was cast down, which is the same. In Greece it's the Titans. It's the Titans in Greece and all. It's Lucifer and Prometheus and all. It's the same different mythology giving you this thing. In the Rappaport books, they say that in actuality, God made this male creation, or was about this, and he wanted these other entities to bow down, because you hear this in the story. He wanted them to bow down to what he created. The real story, the metaphysical story was, Lucifer in that clan or group was made into humans, and he wanted them to bow down to him, and they was rebelling against being made into humans. So in this book, there was these entities that was made into humans, and they are against man. They're not against man. They are man. They are the soul that is against the physical entrapment of it by the physical body. So a mental hell, Satan was bound for 1,000 years and cast into a dungeon in chains. The chains is the human body, and Satan is the soul. Virtra in India, this cosmic order, was overthrown by Indra, and his substance was turned into Sama, melanin. And where is the melanin? Inside of humans. Satan realm was turned into the demons, which is Damien's hidden substance. Melanin. Tiamat was cast down, her substance was turned into melanin, called Kingu. The Titans and Gaia was cast down, their substance was turned into what? Melanin. They say the blood of the Titans was made humans out of.
So on your tape out there?
The history of melanin. I got a history of melanin in
You
there.
got that? on
Yeah.
there?
Yes, one of those in there and all. Any of my dark side tapes, I talk about this. What I'm trying to say here is, we are higher than the solar divas, than the Olympian gods, than the Yoruba deities. You notice how these Yoruba deities, you feed them all that shit, and they don't never really tell you how to get the fuck up out of here. Think about it. They all that old fucking white shit you got on and all, but they ain't telling you how to get up out of here. I'm gonna let you know a little secret reason why I'm reviewing this thing. Now, I'll get the book for you right now. This is some great stuff. Just bear with me 1 minute. Y'all all right?
All right. Great.
And I got several of the thing in this particular book. In this book here, in the cover, there's the Apollo spirits, or what you call the Congo rites. Now what it is this here. You have two sides. You have the Yoruba, which are light deities. And then you have the Congo rites, or Apollo spirits, which are dark deities. The Apollo spirits exist inside of us. That's the melanin deities. Those are the shadow realms. The other deities are Olympian deities that you, except the female. The females is titans from the old age that didn't get cast into a physical body. They had to hang around and become subordinate. So Hera does it in Greece. So yeah, Hera does it in Greece. So in so many words, you had the Congo rites. There's 12 of them in this book I was trying to find, but I remember it was in this book. There's 12 of them.